Sri Lanka's most powerful news brand.
A very good evening to all our viewers. It's Sunday, the 3rd of December 2017, and welcome to a brand new edition of Newsfirst Weekend. I'm Lanka, and as always, let's take a look at our headlines for this evening.
Smoke causes respiratory illnesses in several Sri Lankan cricketers during the third test in Delhi. North, Central and Eastern provinces to experience showers. Depression reported over Andaman Islands. Demands to cancel the gazette that granted permission to manufacture liquor using rice. Suspect in the killing of Galgamur tusker confesses to removing tusks from a dead elephant.
Starting off with sports news this evening, 3 Sri Lankan cricketers fell ill during day 2 of the third test versus India in New Delhi today as smoke brought on by severe air pollution in the Indian capital repeatedly stopped play. Now, Sri Lanka Cricket stated that the cricketers were suffering from respiratory illnesses. While rainy conditions over much of the island have dissipated, the Department of Meteorology is forecasting thunder showers in the north, central and eastern provinces. Gatharama Vhara joins us from the newsroom with more from the weather front.
Thank you, Arundhati. As you said, the rainy conditions that we experienced here in the western part of the country and the south part of our country has gone down. But the reason for this is that the depression that was developing next to our country has moved further away towards India. The effect of this depression that was there on our country has reduced. But if I may draw your attention to over here near Sumatra Islands, there is another system developing in this area. You can see with these green color markings that this area is going to experience quite a lot of heavy rainfall in the coming days. Now, if you forecast what is going to happen in the coming days, I'm now showing you details of weather forecast of Tuesday evening and leading up to Wednesday morning. As you can see, this depression that was near the Sumatra Islands has moved further towards Sri Lanka and is standing here. And the red color markings or the orange color markings here show that the north province, northeastern province as well as the eastern province of our country will experience heavy showers in the coming few days. Now, the Met Department as well as International Meteorology Organization suggest that this deep depression that is going to develop near our country will move further away towards India and the effect of it will go down in about 3 days. But as you can see, since there is a lot of rainfall and heavy winds surrounding this area right next to our country, especially affecting the coastal lines of the north, northeast and the eastern provinces, the wave levels, the wave lengths will also be at a situation where our fishermen and our naval folk will have to draw their attention to. As you can remember, when this depression affected the west and the southern parts of our country, the Met Department and other organizations for disaster management suggested and advised the neighbor communities to refrain from fishing activities. The same applies to the fishing communities in the north, northeast and the eastern provinces as well. As you can see here in this image, a lot of wave activity right next to our country as a result of this depression that is developing and is moving away from our country. Now, as we told you earlier, the situation in our country became better with this first depression moving away from the country. Let's now take a look at what happened thereafter.
The Department of Irrigation says that minor floods caused by the rising waters of the Nilwala, Kalu and Ging rivers are receding. However, the lowline areas around the rivers remain inundated. The Karagoda area in Dambala along the Molkava Road in Bulat Sinhala was inundated with the water level in the Kalu river increasing. Floodwaters that submerged many roads in the Matra district following the Kiruma Ara breaking its banks were seen receding today. However, many lowline areas were still underwater. A house in Horapavita South in the Kamburupitiya area in Matara was damaged when an earth embankment collapsed onto it. According to our correspondent, no one was injured in the incident. The National Building Research Organisation has warned people living close to the earth embankments in the Badulla, Ratnapura, Matale, Gaul, Matara, Kandy, Nuraliya, Kegaul and Kalutara districts to continue to exercise caution.
People living in the north and east are scared of a tsunami situation. There are instances of seawater flowing inland. This is not a new phenomenon. This happens twice a year in the north and east areas when waves are higher than usual. There are several reasons for this. One is the direction of the currents. When the force of the wind is stronger than usual, it creates a swell of large waves. Sometimes a wave may increase up to 4 meters. That is why the waves move further inland. This is a normal phenomenon in many countries. There is another incident. When increased fresh water reduces the salinity of seawater in the Bay of Bengal, fish that are unable to survive in these conditions migrate to other areas. This is why uncommon fish, including sea snakes, were found in fishing nets in Batiklo.
A gazette notification issued on the 9th of November by the Minister of Finance appears to have authorized the use of rice in the manufacturing of liquor.
This gazette notification issued on the 9th of December authorizes the production of spirits through the distillation of rice, maize and fruits. The Finance Minister has granted approval as per powers vested in him by the Excise Ordinance. Notably, this decision comes at a time when rice is selling at approximately 100 rupees a kilogram in local markets.
Where will this end? Consumers are currently paying 100 rupees for a kilo of rice. If this is implemented, the price will certainly rise to at least 200 rupees a kilogram. The farmers who are here with me do not till the soil and sow seeds for the distillation of arak. They do it to feed the country. The farmer provides rice for the country, not arak. What has happened now? Arak is the number one and rice is number two. Arak has been prioritized over rice. Where will this end? Whose wishes are they fulfilling? We clearly accuse the Arjun Aloysiuses who robbed the central bank in broad daylight. These thieves should be in prison. They have now begun construction of a liquor distillery in Calcutta. A massive factory. What will be manufactured here? Arak. What is the raw material they will use? Rice. They will take all the rice, corn and fruits to the liquor factory in Calcutta. Where will this country go?
At a
time when consumers are paying more than 100 rupees for a kilo of rice, at a time when we have to import rice, they are issuing gazette notifications like this for the benefit of their friends and the beer manufacturers, allowing for the use of rice in the production of liquor. This is a major problem. It is globally accepted that beer is produced using malt. When beer is produced using rice, sugar and yeast, the strength will rise to 8.8%, and we believe this is illegal under the Excise Ordinance. They will pay 100 rupees per kilo of rice to produce beer, and the consumer will have to pay 120 to 130 rupees for the rice they need to eat.
It is clear to us that the chief manufacturer of liquor in this country is the same person that was involved in the central bank bond scam. Arjuna Mahendran, the former central bank governor, his wife and the wife of the chief manufacturer of liquor in this country are the two sisters. This person also represents a committee at the tourism ministry. All of them are henchmen of the prime minister of this country. They are obedient henchmen of the prime minister. It may be the case that the finance minister and the tourism minister are not a part of this. It is possible that this permit and the environment for the license to be issued was created on the orders of the Prime Minister. Not only are they engaging in business with the money that they stole through the central bank bond scam, now their relatives are also engaging in businesses with that money. The fact that the central bank was broken into in broad daylight has been revealed to the entire country.
Responding to inquiries from Newsfirst, the Excise Department noted that this decision had been taken due to the reduction in coconut palm related products used in the distillation of natural spirits.
Central Bank Bond Scam. 26th of February 2015. A breakfast meeting is held between officials of the central bank, including then Governor Arjun Mahendran, the Treasury, the Road Development Authority, Ministers Ravi Karunanayake and Kabir Hashim, and then Chairman of the United National Party, Malik Samaravikrama. The need to raise funds to pay for areas in road development projects of the Mahinda Rajapaksa regime is discussed. There was a need for 18 billion rupees, testimony given by Malik and Kabir before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. The need was 75 billion rupees, testimony previously provided by Mahendran and Ravi before the Presidential Commission. Bids totaling about 10 billion rupees are accepted at the bond auction by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. First week of March 2015. News First carries first exposé of possible fraud in central bank bond auction on the 27th of February. Suspicions arise that Arjun Aloysius, the son-in-law of then CBSL Governor Arjun Mahendran, may have been privy to inside information that he used to his advantage during the auction. Facts revealed before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry. Malik and Kabir claim that the bond auction to be held on the following day was not discussed during the breakfast meeting held on the 26th of February 2015. Arjun Mahendran says he remembered the need for funds expressed at the breakfast meeting on the day of the bond auction. What really happened? The report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry will be submitted in 6 days. Tomorrow, News First looks at the attempts made to cover up the bond scam.
Speaking at an event held in Savanagala today, Uva Provincial Councillor Samantha Vidyaratna had this to say.
What is the culture in our villages? When rogues break into a house in the village, the entire village is awoken. They come up with clubs and sickles to catch the thieves. They tie them up to trees, don't they? They beat them mercilessly, don't they? Then they realize the person they have captured and beaten is from their own village. The entire family is ostracized then. We are a society that ostracizes thieves for breaking into a house. So what about the break-in at the central bank? Shouldn't that thief be tied up to a tree? Shouldn't he be ostracized? Shouldn't his party ostracize him? They should. What about those who stole from the tsunami aid? How much did the Rajapaksa family steal? How much has Shashindra stolen? So the village thief is treated one way and the thief in parliament is treated differently. They are garlanded. They receive a sheaf of betel leaves. They are sent to Parliament and the Pradesh Sabhas. This is the catastrophe that has befallen our country. Luxury for them, suffering for us. This is our democracy. They said Subha Anagatayak for a while, and now they say Yahapalanaya. These governments take good positive words from the Sinhala language and use it to carry out their ugly work.
Weekend newspapers have reported that a committee led by the Prime Minister is to take several quick decisions on the restructuring of the national carrier Sri Lankan Airlines.
A committee led by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was appointed to oversee the restructuring possibilities of Sri Lankan Airlines following a proposal put to the Cabinet of Ministers on the 13th of September 2017. The committee, which was proposed through the Cabinet Committee on Economic Management, include Ministers Mangala Samaravira, Dr. Saratha Murugama, Nimal Siripala de Silva, Kabir Hashim and Malik Samaravikrama. A separate committee comprising public officials, including the secretaries of the Ministry of Finance and Public Enterprise Development and the chairman of the Public-Private Partnership Agency, has also been appointed for this purpose. In a statement to the Sunday edition of Ceylon Today, the chairman of the Committee of Bureaucrats, Treasury Secretary Dr. R.H.S. Samaratunga said, quote, "They have thoroughly examined the balance sheet of the company. It was appalling and painful to the state. Therefore, the government will take quick decisions with regard to the ailing, debt-ridden national carrier, Sri Lankan Airlines," unquote. Incidentally, once the current government came into power, the brother of an advisor to Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was appointed to a senior management position at Sri Lankan Airlines, while several other friends also received appointments. Under the former regime too, senior positions of Sri Lankan Airlines were held by relatives and associates. In 2016 and 2017, the airline suffered losses totaling more than 28 billion rupees. While losses are running into the billions of rupees, 4 members of the senior management who receive monthly allowances of more than 3 million rupees are still serving in the company. Among the decisions taken by this management of friends are the cancellation of the purchase of aircraft undertaken by the previous regime, the failure to return an aircraft once the lease period had ended, and the cancellation of flights to Europe. Recently, trade unions have accused a member of the senior management of using company assets to obtain pilot training for himself. Meanwhile, several attempts to entice investors for a public-private partnership to rescue the ailing airline have also fallen through, allegedly due to the lethargic response from the management of Friends.
Health Minister Rajendra Senaratne says a special tax has been proposed through the budget on sweetened drinks. Speaking at a media briefing held in Colombo today, the minister said the tax would be calculated according to the percentage of sugar in these products.
The Health Ministry highlighted the fact that close to 70% of deaths in Sri Lanka are caused by non-communicable diseases. Specialist doctors have attributed the increase in sugar consumption to difficulties in combating diseases like diabetes. At present, colour-coded notices are being used on sweetened drinks to make the public aware of the sugar content.
In 2016, we introduced a traffic light colour code to reduce sugar consumption through awareness. As per a request I made this year, the Finance Minister has introduced a tax of 50 cents per gram of sugar in sweetened drinks through the budget. We will continue this program in the future with regard to fat, salt and sweetened food items too.
The Health Ministry also says that while local universities produce about 1,300 doctors each year, this number is insufficient to cover the shortage in doctors across the country.
The biggest challenge we are facing is the lack of staff. When I came in, we had only half the requirement of specialists. There is a cadre shortage of 1,382 doctors. I summoned the Postgraduate Institute and asked them to double this number. It will take another 3 to 4 years to produce these specialists. At the same time, we are establishing medical faculties in the Wayamba, Sabaragamuwa and Monotua universities. Furthermore, the capacity at the Karapitiya Medical Faculty will be increased from 130 to 300. This will increase the annual number of graduating doctors by 600 to 700.
The Sri Pada pilgrimage season commenced today. The sacred relics, a statue of God Saman and other adornments were carried to the peak of Sri Pada from the Sri Pada Gatharama Vhara in Galpottavala, Pelmadulla today. Our correspondent noted that the procession commenced its journey at the auspicious time of 5:40 a.m. Large crowds of devotees had gathered today on day one of the pilgrimage season. The Unduwa Poe Day holds special significance in Sri Lanka as it marks the transportation of a bow or the Sri Mahabodhi tree to Sri Lanka by the Bhikkhuni Sanghamita at the invitation of King Devanampiya Thissa. Today also marks the beginning of the order of Bhikkhunis in Sri Lanka with the ordination of 500 women monks including Anula Devi. The Sri Sambuddha Puja was observed today at the Shakyamala located at the premises of the head office of the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited. The puja was organised by Sirasa TV this year. The puja was overseen and guided by Venerable Katkarui Palitathera of the Hunupitiya Gatharama Vhara. A religious ceremony was held today to invoke blessings on the slain Galgamur Tusker.
The ritual was organised by residents of villages including Galgamur, Simbalava, Madhavachia, Makalahenagama and Liannagama. A Dhamma sermon was delivered last night, followed by an almsgiving for 19 monks today to invoke blessings on the Galgamur Tusker.
If those responsible for this crime are not punished by the law, they will be punished by nature.
Meanwhile, 8 suspects arrested in connection with the killing of the Galgamur Tusker have been remanded until the 12th of December. One of the suspects confessed to court that he and another suspect had found the elephant's carcass and had removed the tusk. Investigations are being carried out by the crimes unit of the Nicavarity Police Division.
Also in local news, President Maithripala Sirisena declared open the Kandy Municipal Council's indoor sports complex in Kandy today.
Following the opening ceremony, President Sirisena witnessed a table tennis tournament at the complex. The Municipal Commissioner of the Kandy Municipal Council, Chandanathan Nakon, presented a token of appreciation to the President at the occasion.
The E-Swabhimani Awards 2017 was held in Colombo this week. This award ceremony recognizes outstanding digital social innovators.
The award ceremony is organized by the Information Communication Technology Agency and the Ministry of Telecommunications and Digital Infrastructure.
So there is so much that we can do leveraging on digital technologies. I believe that when somebody has put a lot of effort into developing an application that would benefit people, would benefit society, nothing can be a loser. I mean, there can be winners, but there cannot be losers, because we all have contributed to the development of society by leveraging on the digital technology.
Winners were selected among 43 nominees. Good Market won the award for the Business and Commerce category, while Kotiyak Vatina, the Hasak program aired on our sister channel Sirasa TV, together with Mobitel Private Limited, won the award in the Digital Entertainment category.
Inflation as measured by the Colombo Consumers Price Index or CCPI stood at 7.6% in November. Now this value stood at 7.8% in October.
Even though the inflation rate has dropped by 1.2% in November, the CBSL has said earlier that disturbed weather patterns have caused the prices of vegetables, rice and coconut to rise. The central bank warned that if the administered prices increase, this could cause inflation in the non-food category as well. There has been a noteworthy decline in workers' remittances coming into the country during the first 9 months of 2017 when compared to the same time frame of last year. Workers' remittances has declined by 16.7% to $481 million in September 2017 from $578 million a year earlier. The cumulative income from workers' remittances declined by 7.4% to $4.985 billion during the first 9 months of 2017 relative to the corresponding period of 2016. Despite a double-digit growth in export earnings surpassed $1 billion for the third consecutive month, while Sri Lanka's trade deficit widened 7.5% to $656 million in September 2017 from $610 million a year earlier. The trade deficit expanded with higher imports of fuel and rice during the month.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Arundhati Mudarnayaka. Have a great week ahead of you. Good night.